Hello there. This is another YouTube Pagan Challenge video, and it's question number 29. Do you use crystals? Why and how? Yes, I do. I've always liked rocks. Rocks are fun. Picked them up as a kid, and as a practicing pagan witch. I'm not like too crazy, but I do use them. Although that crazy could change. You never know when that's going to happen. When some kind of interest just explodes. I always kind of had some around, whether there's stuff I found, like there's a lot of Montana agate around my area. And this isn't like stellar quality, but found it around in the yard somewhere. So there's a lot of Montana agate. And fossils and stuff like that in my area. So picking that kind of stuff up is pretty normal for me. Kind of like I looked one day, I saw this side of the rock. I'm like, what is that? And it was right kind of where the horses were. And so I picked it up. And yeah, it was a fossil. It's coral. We used to be a sea. A long time ago. So things like rocks, stones get used, and I kind of just had a passing interest in it. And then I took my friend Sherry's crystal grid class, and that kind of exploded my use of like crystal grids in my spiritual practices and such. Because before then, it's like I thought they were cool. I kind of had one set up, but nothing really major. And when I took Sherry's class and had this, let's call it download epiphany, about using layering with the sacred geometry within a crystal grid, holy moly, that was just like very, very exciting to me, of creating kind of these portals via the sacred geometry and using them in a crystal grid. So that's how I mainly use my crystals and my rocks that I have. I also often include tarot cards on grids and things like that. So it's not just straight up crystals. I like to do other things with it. But really the main way I do use them is within crystal grids at this point in time, especially with the layered geometry. Because if you take the Metatron, let's see, using brain cramp. Yes, Flower of Life, not Seed of Life. Metatron, Flower of Life, and a Vesica Piscis. Depending on which way you layer them, you're either taking it out or bringing it in, which has different things. If you want to say, like I have a business, so one of them is layered up to bring in clients. And another grid I have is layered to go out. So it gets kind of complex in there, and that's almost more sacred geometry working with that than the actual crystals and rocks themselves. But things I do use, like aventurine is on my personal one from my friend Rhonda that I bought off her after I took a class, and it was on one of her grids, and oh, it's just so juicy and yummy feeling. But sometimes I will include using something like amethyst or rose quartz within a reading to bring in, or clear quartz is another one I like to use when I do readings to bring in clarity. Rose quartz for love, the heart, obviously, and amethyst for healing. It's a little floaty. But really, mainly how I'm using it right now is through the crystal grids with the layers geometry, sacred geometry, and really it's more of a sacred geometry thing for me almost at this point than exactly a crystal thing. So it's kind of a weird dichotomy there. And I think I did. Do I have one out? I think there's a video out Or maybe there's not. There might not be. We'll have to remedy that. I know there's one up. I don't know if it's released publicly though. Maybe I'll just release it publicly if it's not, and link it below if I can remember that with my little pea brain. These have been crazy busy lately. I'm still kind of getting caught up from the great computer crash of 2016. But back to the topic. Crystals, really, grids are a main way I'm using them right now. And how I'm using the grid is actually more sacred geometry than crystals. So I'm not going to go into that because this is about crystals and not sacred geometry. So that is it on crystals. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are awesome. And I'll see you later. Bye-bye.